So we have NewsNation team coverage from the region. Robert Sherman is live for us tonight once again in Tel Aviv. Joe Khalil live on the North Lawn at the White House. Joe, we'll get to you in just a moment. But Robert, once again, let's start our coverage in the region with you this evening. What's the latest on this war?
Yeah, Connell, we're actually under an alert right now here in Tel Aviv. We had sirens blaring just a short while ago. No explosions to speak of, really, that we've been able to notice in the sky here. There have been a couple of attacks carried out on Israel here throughout the day, and what I would say is that they are coming less often today compared to yesterday, certainly compared to this past weekend. We are noticing that the barrages tend to be smaller in size. So from our vantage point, when the U.S. military says that they're watching as Iran's capabilities and the number of strikes they're able to carry out has been degraded, at the very least from what we see firsthand in Israel, that does line up. However, you see the focus here from the American forces and the Israeli forces on knocking out any of Iran's aerial capabilities, because those are still being viewed as the #1 threat. Ballistic missiles on the ground, stockpiles, launchers, and drones before they take to the skies. The consummate example of that is what we saw in Bahrain overnight, in which Iran lashing back and hitting residential areas in Bahrain. That included the Hilton Hotel, which you're looking at on your screen, and other skyrises that are in the area as well. There is now State Department guidance from the embassies in some of these countries here for Americans to steer clear, or at the very least be cognizant of American hotels or other places that Americans might likely stay, believing that they may become a target in all of this, which is why there is such a push on getting Americans out of the region entirely. The State Department saying about 24,000 Americans have left the Middle East since February 28th. We know that there have been some of these charter flights that have now since returned to the United States and actually landed on American soil. It is a big job, Connell. I'm sure as you're seeing there in Istanbul, up your way, I know Turkish Airways closed down a lot of their flights to the region at large, and many, many more airlines are still doing the same here, not feeling comfortable flying to the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, many of these countries. There really isn't an indication that that pressure is easing anytime soon. Connell?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of the story. I mean, Istanbul, as you know, is seen as a way to get kind of in and out of the region or get a connecting flight through the region. But even to your point, that seems to be challenging. The other thing, you know, we're watching it right now, the skies over Beirut. Let's talk about Lebanon for a little bit and the back and forth there, kind of another front in this war that's really been escalating the last couple of days. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, I mean, without question, it's some of the fiercest fighting that's taking place in the region right now, with Israeli troops actually operating in Lebanon, Israeli Air Force pounding the southern suburbs of Beirut, and giving these evacuation orders to everyone south of the Litani River to leave, to get out as quickly as possible. What we have seen as a result, I mean, you're talking about tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people who live in that area who are clearing out. You see scenes such as these in which the traffic in order to get out of southern Lebanon extending for miles and miles, some making the choice to try and get to Syria in order to escape Lebanon entirely. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, speaking with reporters today, says this isn't going to be ceasing anytime soon. In a statement, he told reporters today, quote, "We are striking the enemy, its leadership, its oppressive regime, and various targets, those in Lebanon included. We possess determination, initiative, and stratagem that the enemy will yet encounter even more intensely." This is all being framed from the American and Israeli sides, Connell, that what we are seeing right now, intense firepower being leveled into Tehran, Iran itself, as well as into Lebanon. But the expectation is we're going to be seeing a lot more, and perhaps with even more intensity. Connell?
Yeah, all right, Robert. We'll check back in with you throughout the show tonight. Robert Sherman is live once again in Tel Aviv.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.